This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
On the show today, well, we're going to cross back to Morwell for the trial of the century, which is the mushroom trial. Channel 9's Amber Johnston gives us the latest.
It's amazing. If you Google mushrooms now, that's what comes up.
I know, right?
It's incredible. We catch up with Will Schofield and talk a bit about what's going on in the football landscape.
Very unusual neighbour requests after the plant Wi-Fi incident.
Yeah.
I mean, that's full on, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is actually crazy. And we also caught up with Todd Woodbridge from Tipping Point, but also you might know him from tennis.
Yes.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean. Let's go! On Nova 937.
It's 6:02. Nathan, Nat and Sean. Just a reminder, Nathan's taking some personal leave. He'll be back with us on air soon. Ross is here.
Hello.
Hello, Ross.
We've got a big show today, I think. I'm a bit, frazzled.
You are a bit frazzled.
Do you
had
want
a
to talk
toilet
about
break.
what happened? You want to talk about what happened?
Okay, if you're listening, I don't like talking about this, but if you're listening at 5:40am this morning, we went off air.
Why is that, Ross?
It is a little technical thing, but it's my responsibility to keep us on air. And
What were you doing? Where were you?
I happened to be in the toilet at the time.
Just
doing what I got to do. Business.
Who?
Yeah, and then I heard it go off air, so I had to run back in, but I couldn't because I had to use the toilet paper, but the toilet paper was brand new toilet paper, so you couldn't get that first bit going. Yes. So I couldn't, start it off, so I'm tearing at it, and it's little tiny flakes are coming off, and Amy's paging me through Nova. Ross, we're off air. Come to the studio. I can't come to the studio until this is finished. Anyway, that was my morning.
And because we were off air for long enough, it triggers an automatic alert to all the people in charge.
I have to write an official report now as to why we went off air at 5:40.
And the reason's toilet paper. So
That's fantastic, Ross.
Anyway,
morning. Great start to the day.
I'm looking forward to that email.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
We have seen that there's been an Australian man arrested over in Bali for what the locals are saying, importing over a kilo of cocaine.
$1.5 million worth.
Sydney guy, 43-year-old from Sydney. Yeah. It's not looking good.
Come on. What are you thinking? Apparently
Quick money.
$5,000. Risk reward on that is not great.
God.
So he was paid to carry it in. Or to import it in some way. Yeah. And you go, well, that's not worth it.
$5,000
versus the death penalty.
Yeah.
You don't even do an MC job for $5,000 now. Jesus.
Yeah,
I will, but Ross won't.
He's threatened with the death penalty or life imprisonment for this.
Yeah, we've seen we've seen Australians in the past, which is horrendous. The Bali Nine.
The Bali Nine. Yeah, it's a good example. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I know. When will people learn?
You don't know the circumstances, I guess, behind it.
Yeah. Also, that's true. But, don't put yourself in a situation where this is the option.
Yeah.
Because the consequences of it are dire.
And they are.
They got the TV show Banged Up Abroad, which is based a lot on stuff like this, and it goes into a lot of the stories of how they get to it. And it's usually there's somebody going, it's quick cash, right? So they have a big drug kingpin. They're like, you go for a holiday, come back with just a suitcase.
Yeah.
And we'll give you X dollars.
So if somebody's paying you to take a suitcase somewhere, no.
Not in a million years.
Not in a million years.
I always panic when I go to the airport or when you're waiting for your luggage to come out that there's something's been tampered with.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you see the people that are hyper worried about it, they're wrapping it in 87 layers of Glad wrap. And I'm like, oh, come on. And then you go, well, maybe there's some merit in that.
Yeah, no doubt about
because the locks that we put on them, they're pickable. I mean, the reason that those travel locks are so that, if you go into America, they have to be able to get into your bag. It's part of the condition of you going there. And so, if you're using that power for evil, you definitely could put stuff in and take stuff out.
0000. Everyone knows that. That's pretty easy, isn't it?
I thought yours would be 8888.
That's better from my memory. Yeah, horrendous for that Australian guy.
I know. But it's the consequences of your actions. And into Bali, of all places.
Quick cash is not good cash. Well,
sure, it's the McManus mantra, isn't it? Quick cash is great.
And has it worked for me?
I know, but not even you're that silly. Yeah, God, think about that sort of thing.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Stay out. fever this Suncorp Super Netball season and join the Green Army. Get your West Coast Fever tickets at Ticketek now.
Going to be a ripper of a game at West Coast Fever taking on the Queensland Firebirds this Sunday at RAC Arena. The Fever are in outright second on the ladder now. They've staged quite the comeback.
What a comeback, thanks to Janelle.
Fallon-Emmard has made all the difference, and they're the Fever that we know and love.
All right, 2 box tickets up for grabs. 2 callers going head-to-head. We roll our giant box, which is a dice in the studio. Questions assigned to each number. A reminder, if the number comes up again, it is the same question, so jump in early with your name. You want to get an extra point. First to 4 is going to win.
Okay.
Let's meet our contestants. We've got Emily from Thornley. Good morning, Em.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Em, ready to answer some pretty quick questions?
I hope so.
Have you had your coffee this morning, Emily?
I sure have.
Okay,
good one.
Good, that's important. You're up against Denise from Dutch. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, you
Denise.
sound like you've had your coffee, Denise.
Sounds like a work voice.
I don't drink coffee, but...
What? Wait.
Me neither, Denise.
No, you need...
Body's a temple.
No.
Can't have coffee and 1,000 beers on the weekend. Doesn't work. One's got to give.
You can. All right, let's test your buzzers. Emily,
Emily.
Denise.
Denise.
Working well, guys. All right, let's roll the dice. And we have rolled up a 6.
Here is the question. Which city would you visit to see the Hollywood sign?
Denise.
Denise?
Los Angeles.
Yes, Denise. We're not trying to trick you. All right, we've rolled up number 1. Which royal couple moved to California in 2020?
Denise.
Denise?
Harry and Meghan Markle.
Yes, indeed. Denise has shot out to a 2-0 lead.
All right, we've rolled the dice again.
What is
Number 1. Which royal couple moved to California?
Denise?
Emily. Harry and Meghan Markle.
Emily, slow off the mark on that one.
All right,
Denise.
we've rolled up a 4. Which cocktail is made with vodka, coffee liqueur, and cream?
Emily. Denise.
Emily?
Espresso martini.
No, it's a white
so
Russian.
too.
The answer is white Russian.
I thought that was a... Yeah, anyway.
And we've rolled up a 4.
Which cocktail...
Emily.
Denise?
Denise for the win.
White Russian.
Yes, Denise has done it just like that. Denise, I'm
Well
going to
done.
be seeing you on Sunday at RAC Arena in my box. There is pre-game hospitality, courtside drinks. You're going to be there. I'm going to be there, and the Fever are going to win.
They certainly are. And Emily, you need to drop your dacks and run around the pool table because you were wiped off the table in that one.
I mean,
Thanks anyway.
Don't rub it in. It was great to have you. But Denise has just proved that you don't need coffee, by the way.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Time to cross to Morwell in regional Victoria to catch up with our old friend, Channel 9's Amber Johnston, who is basically Morwell is her life now. Good morning, Amber.
Morning.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Amber.
Can you see a time when you won't be in Morwell at this point, Amber?
Oh, I'm actually loving it. I think I've been looking at some property down here, thinking about taking up residency.
A long
Okay,
trip.
that's
There's some farming land.
That's Stockholm syndrome. That's what
Yeah.
that is.
Is that what it is? Oh,
How far are you from the coast, Amber? Because not too far.
no, we were actually talking about this the other day because, no, it is quite far from the coast. Yeah, there's a lot of fish and chip shops, so I was really confused about where this fish is coming from.
I mean, it's worth asking.
That's funny.
So, okay, so from what I understand, the latest they've been cross-examining a health official who was one of the people that, was asking Erin Patterson some questions about the mushrooms in the first place. Is that where we're at the moment?
Yeah, that's exactly right. She had some very interesting evidence yesterday. So basically, she works for the Department of Health.
Yes.
And she was contacted by a doctor who was told, hey, look, we've got this case. All these people had a lunch and they've fallen incredibly ill. We need to try and find the source of the illness. So that was her job. So it was a bit of a wild goose chase to try and figure out what exactly happened. So she actually was in contact with Erin Patterson when Erin was in hospital claiming to have gastro-like symptoms. So she was having I think there was an initial phone call and then it ended up being a bit of a text message exchange where she was trying to get some further details from Erin Patterson, asking her, did she serve any beverages with the meal? What sort of spring onions did she use? What Asian grocer did she go to get the mushrooms?
Yep.
But it was in her evidence that she told the jury that Erin Patterson allegedly wasn't overly clear when she was answering the questions about the outbreak of the illness. And she also said that some of Erin Patterson's responses actually changed throughout the conversation. So she had initially told her that she bought all of the ingredients on the Friday night before the lunch, but then that later changed to she said that she'd purchased them over the course of a number of days. That's a bit of the evidence that she gave yesterday.
Did she give a specific Asian grocery place or wherever she was shopping for them to look into?
Well, that's something else that this health department worker said changed. When Erin Patterson was asked about what grocer she thought she went to, she couldn't remember exactly, but she gave 3 suburbs. And then as this health department worker was talking to Erin over the course of a couple of days, one of those suburbs then changed. So there was, a bit of chopping and changing, which is something that the health department worker raised to the jury yesterday. They're all in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs.
Does that really matter if they just get a credit card statement and go, she's been there, or...
Has that been submitted into evidence? Is there evidence of her paying or is she claiming that she paid cash?
No, we haven't seen any of that evidence, but that's actually a question what this health department worker asked. This is something that we heard yesterday, that in one of the text messages she asked Erin Patterson whether she used a card to make the purchases.
Yes.
But then it got to the end of the day and her evidence wrapped up. But she will be back on the stand this morning again, so we're expecting that she'll be the first witness to be called up. So we should be hearing more from her today.
How much longer is it going on for, Amber? Do we know?
That is the $1 million question.
You can't make any plans, can you?
No, not at all. Initially there were 5 to 6 weeks set aside for the trial.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of an estimate. But then, of course, it just depends how long the jury might be deliberating for.
Sure.
So we're in the 5th week now, so 5 weeks and more. So we're getting towards the end of the prosecution case. Then what happens after that is that it'll be over to the defence if the defence would like to call any witnesses. But the defence doesn't actually have to. If they don't want to, they don't need to call any witnesses. And then after that, it'll go to closing arguments.
Do we know if Erin Patterson's going to take the stand in her defence?
No,
right.
and we've actually, no idea.
Yeah,
no idea. So the defence hasn't alluded to whether they will be calling any witnesses.
LA Law, they never used to put the people up there. And Suits is in particular, don't take the stand, they say.
Not documentary, Sean.
Amber, one more thing. Just going back a couple of days, but the online searches she did, was this before the meal and what was she searching?
So the evidence actually didn't link directly to Erin Patterson. This was a number of devices that were found inside her home by police. So there was a computer that was seized from her home after the lunch, and when it was forensically examined, they found that before the lunch in 2022, so the year prior, there were searches on the computer for a website called the iNaturalist website. And you might remember that's the citizen reporting website where citizen scientists can jump on and document different species they might find in the wild with photos and maybe GPS coordinates to where they found that species. So they found searches for that particular website on that device. And on another device that was seized from the home, it was a Samsung mobile, they found it was the Facebook chat messages that were quite interesting. So there was a Facebook account with the name Erin that was sending group messages to a group of women on Facebook.
Yeah.
Allegedly, some strong language about her estranged husband and his family. So whoever was using this account was describing Simon Patterson as being gaslighting and abusive at times, and described his parents' communication style as weasel words. So that was all evidence from a digital forensic officer. So he actually spent 4 days on the stand.
Yeah. God.
Jeez, this is going to go on forever if we go into the detail, because you're just trying to find everything to pin.
Amber's going to be 65.
lady.
You'll be retiring before this thing is over,
You
Amber.
get long service leave the way this is going. You'll go straight from...
I'll be absolutely haggard by the end of it.
Amber, thanks so much for the update. We'll check back in with you because I don't think it's finishing anytime soon, but it's certainly a trial that is captivating the world. So thank you for your insights today.
Thank you, guys. Great chatting to you.
That's Amber Johnston from Channel 9 News.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
I was just reading an article yesterday about a lady who was sharing a really... she was living in a townhouse situation where there was a number of townhouses in a row. This is just in the UK.
So shared walls, yeah?
Shared walls, really paper-thin walls she was talking about. Great to meet so many different people living in a kind of situation like that, because there's great neighbours that can help you out with a lot of things.
It's a very common scenario in the UK too. It's dense population, not a lot of room, so that's what happens.
Yeah. She was talking about one neighbour that came knocking on the door. She said that she described the neighbour as being one of those people that wears a lot of tie-dye. Which I
organic.
thought was funny.
She's an organic neighbour.
So the lady knocked on the door, and she's normally very pleasant. At this stage, she wasn't. She was holding a pot plant in her hand, and she wanted to talk about the fact that the Wi-Fi in this person's house was affecting her plants.
So she's claiming that the neighbour's Wi-Fi is impacting the health of her pot plants.
100%. She wanted to negotiate that the router, that was a new router that was set in the house, be moved from one side of the room to the other, or the possibility of the Wi-Fi being turned off between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. at night, and therefore the plants will have their time to regenerate and flourish.
What do you say to that? Sean, that happens to you. You get that knock. Oh, I worry for the person that does that to you. What do you say?
I just, Megan, can you deal with this? Some requests from neighbours are very interesting. That's a really random one, isn't it?
Like, that's a bit cooker. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's... The Wi-Fi's impacting my plants.
You get plant people, but that's plant and Wi-Fi.
That's next level. They're the ones
is that
that
a
think
thing?
that
Maybe it's a thing we don't know about.
5G's impacting them as well. You know what?
Oh yeah, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Next time we have Costa on, we'll have to ask him if that's a thing. We don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe it is.
I'm no expert.
But also asking somebody to turn their Wi-Fi off, it's like, no, that's like saying, oh, can you turn your water off for a while? Like, you need your Wi-Fi. Even when I'm asleep, I need my Wi-Fi. Leave me alone.
Yeah, late night scroll. I had this is nowhere near as bad, but I had my neighbour knock on my door, and we ended up. This became quite an issue because she said, "Can you not use your dryer before midday?" So like from 9 a.m. to midday, because she did night shifts. But like I was doing my shift at the time. It was the only time I could do drying.
Yeah.
So I was like, but I need to do my
So what
drying.
time did she not want you to use your dryer?
In the morning till about midday.
That's a reasonable time to be drying. Do you know what I mean? If you're doing,
is the time.
But I get it. Like, it's hard for shift workers.
For her to
It's really
sleep.
hard. But also, what are you supposed to do? Just wear wet clothes around?
Yeah. She went to the, I don't know, whatever it's called, the council or the strata people, and was like, yeah, he's using his dryer.
Are you kidding me?
We went to war.
Are you?
What did the strata say?
They just had to be like, hey, we have to let you know that this has been filed, et cetera, et cetera. But we're not probably going to do anything.
Of course, they can't do anything. You're allowed to use your dryer in the middle of the day. That's ridiculous.
That
dry
is
my clothes.
amazing.
Yeah.
But anyway, ridiculous neighbour request, right?
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. Ross.
Brittany, hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, Britt.
Okay, what did the neighbours ask?
So this was back when I first turned 17 and got my licence, and I remember Mum and my stepdad taking me to get my Holden Barina, and very excited to come home in it, and parking up, and I swear it was like within minutes we live in a cul-de-sac, or I lived in a cul-de-sac,
Yep.
and we had a lovely Chinese neighbour who basically ran over and was just devastated that my rego plate ended in 4 and just was so worried about my safety. Like, she just wouldn't stop.
'Cause it's bad
Mum
luck.
And I decided to take the plates off, and we drove to the licensing centre and we swapped them over because she just didn't want me to drive the car. She was just, wouldn't let it go and just wanted the best for me in my, my new car.
Yeah.
It comes from a good spot, right?
It does.
from a good place.
So tell me about the number 4, because I don't know this.
I believe.
It's a superstition.
Yes.
Yeah, I think.
I believe that the character for 4 is similar to the character for death, and so it's too close for comfort.
Yeah, so basically, she was just very worried, and we couldn't. It was one of those things where it was coming from a good place, but we just felt like she was not going to drop this.
I know, it was just easier to go and get new plates.
And Britt, by the time she's talking to you over this time about the number itself, if there's 1% doubt in your mind, that's too much.
Yeah. And as a new driver,
That's it. And I just wanted to start driving, so I just thought, these will be quicker.
Than having an argument with your neighbour every time you're trying to leave the driveway. Britt, that's a cracker. Yeah. Thank you. Sam's in Kelmscott. Good morning, Sam.
Hi, good morning.
Morning,
Sam. Sam, talk to us. What did the neighbours ask of you?
Well, it wasn't my neighbour. It was actually my landlord.
Mm-hmm.
I was living in High Wycombe at the time, and it was a really big backyard I had, and the owner, he decided to subdivide it. And so he did that, and he was in the process of still doing work out the back, and he ended up putting up a new fence for me.
Yeah.
And I woke up one Sunday to my phone going off. It was him, and I went outside, and he's out the back. He's on the other side of the fence, and he just threw an extension lead over my fence and said, "Hey, can you please plug this in?" Because he wanted to use one of these machines to work out the back. I'm thinking, okay.
But you're paying the power bill, right?
Yeah, he didn't even offer to pay, and I felt like I had to plug it in because it was his house.
Was he the owner?
That's rude, though. That's rude. He should have offered some sort of compensation. A slab, for example.
A slab would have done it.
Yes, exactly.
That would have done it. It fixes all problems.
It does. Unreasonable. Thank you, Sam. Emma is in Freo. Hello.
Hello, how you going?
Good, Emma. What did the neighbours ask of you?
Well, it probably would have been better if they had have asked or spoken to us, but we live in quite a small street. It's turned over in the last 5 years, and there's lots and lots of kids. There's about 9 kids. So we have a bit of a bike jump coming down a hill across one corner of my neighbour's lawn, just a tiny corner of his lawn.
Yeah.
And then right across my lawn, right across the other mum's lawn, do the jump, off you go. And they do it over and over and over again. And anyway, so 6 o'clock one Monday morning, my husband takes the dog for a walk, and the bike jump is on my neighbour's driveway with his four-wheel drive in reverse, and he is going to drive over it and smash it.
Oh.
He sounds fun.
So my husband walks up, grabs the jump from behind the four-wheel drive, just stares him in the eye, walks it back to our house, and puts it back on the lawn where the kids were having fun. So probably would have appreciated a chat, but hey, destruction of property is probably much better.
I love that he was doing it at 6 a.m. in the morning too, so he'd stewed over that all night. As soon as day comes, daybreak, this thing goes. That's next level. Like the people that hate children having fun, it's crazy.
I grew up, my cul-de-sac had a pathway down it, so that, and we had exactly the same setup. We had jumps, and that's how you learn how to ride a bike, and that's the best fun in the world.
It's kids having fun. They're not on a screen, you know. You let them do it.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Time to catch up with this guy.
These players' palms are sweaty, their knees are weak, and their arms are heavy. Can they take their one shot, one opportunity to win our $20,000 jackpot? I'm Todd Woodbridge. Let's find out on Tipping Point.
Wow, the spoken word of Eminem.
You can tell I don't write that script. Sound kit.
You sounded good.
Did you at least watch 8 Miles, by the way, Todd?
No.
It's a great movie.
Focused.
Yeah,
Too focused on dad jokes now for Tipping Point.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, okay. Got ya.
That's your wheelhouse now, isn't it, Todd? And you nail it. The show's going really well. You must be really happy with it.
Crazy. It's 18 months ago when I got a call to go, would you think about doing a game show? Game show, I said. Yeah, I'll have a crack at it. It wasn't really on my bingo card that, I'd end up with the gig and it would be the success that it's been, because the show's just having an incredible run. And I guess so much so that we're getting the odd time we're heading into prime time, which is even more mind-boggling.
Giddy up. Look at you go.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And obviously we've got the travel guide special happening.
What a crossover.
Yeah, I know.
Gee, there's going to be some noise on this show, Todd.
You are dead right. That is for sure, because normally our episode is 3 contestants. Well, we've got 3 teams. We're playing in teams. We've got Kevin and Janetta, Matt and Brett, and then you got the boys, Dorian, Kev and Tang. And well, I mean, if you watch Travel Guides, you'll know that there's chaos with those 3. And then three fellas trying to work out one answer is not easy. So I had to kind of let them all go, and it's some very entertaining and funny stuff. And of course, we're playing for charity. $40,000 jackpot on the line, $300 for every counter that comes over the tipping point. So there's some good money on offer, and it's cut up to be a fantastic episode. So I'm sure all your listeners will really enjoy it. And the guys are all playing for charity, and that's one of the keys as well.
Yeah.
Hey, Todd, it's so interesting. Travel Guides, right? We're talking about this. It's been such a successful show. I'm not a person who dives into it head on, but from when it first started, you're like, mate, these guys have got the best gig in the world.
Yeah. I got to, obviously I chatted with them off set and all the like, and, they go, oh, yeah, it's really busy. It's quite tough. We film 6 months a year. I think 6 months a year to get this done. And, it's fascinating, listen to them. They pack a bag. They get told to, what type of clothing to take, and they get to the airport, no idea where they're going, and they go off. And, I mean, what a gig.
I know.
Yeah, it's a ripper.
Sign me up.
Todd, just switching gears, obviously you'll be commentating Roland Garros. You're a
Roland Garros.
Yeah, you're a Grand Slam winner. Do you ever play social tennis?
Not a lot. I'm actually been invited to play, as I usually do, at Wimbledon. So I play one tournament a year. It's called Wimbledon, so that's not bad.
Wow,
is it?
What a flex.
That is the best thing ever. I couldn't even imagine.
Surely somebody's like, oh, we're playing in the, a doubles tournament at work. Can you come and be my partner? Has anybody tried to pull that?
Occasionally that happens.
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm actually out trying to have a little bit of a practice at the moment, just to make sure that I don't embarrass myself when I turn up there. But as in terms of social tennis, no, not that often.
Because you would have to take it seriously, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Everyone wants to beat you, and they say they hate you, and they did this, and then my cranky old temperament comes in, and I start acting up like Nick Kyrgios, and it doesn't look good.
I doubt it. Come on.
I have an occasional a hit and that type of thing. The problem I find now is that I still hit the ball well. I mean, it still comes out of the middle of the racket, but I visualise myself running, and the top half seems to move over, but the bottom's stuck in the same place.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
Yeah, my movement ain't what it used to be.
Yeah, we're all kind of the same. Hey, well, I'll get your predictions. Is it on the men's side? Is it just Yannick Sinner or Carlos Alcaraz? Is it Alcaraz probably over Yannick Sinner?
Yeah, talking about the Roland Garros, which is underway, and working on that at the moment. We're on 9gem each evening for that. But yeah, you're right. Carlos Alcaraz comes in as favourite. He's had the best clay court run, but part of that's because Yannick Sinner had the 12-week suspension for the issue with the
Where do you sit on that, Todd? We haven't spoken to you. Yeah, it seems like a bit of a slap on the wrist.
Well, it is, but if you go and read, which you can go online, read all of the documentation, Sinner was basically proven that he didn't deliberately take anything.
Okay,
it was
fair call.
1/1000th of a gram. It was not performance enhancing that was in his system. So yes, he's had to take a break, and it is a bit of a slap on the wrist. But in some ways, it's actually given him 12 weeks to go away, freshen up, get in the gym. He looks really, really stronger. And he came back in his first tournament, lost the final of Rome, which is a big one to Alcaraz. So it's all set up for those two to meet in the final. They've never played in a final of a major before. It's the first time they've been seeded 1 and 2 at a Grand Slam tournament. So it's got a lot of stories there written, and I think Alcaraz slight favourite, but it's really, really good. And on the women's side, you've got Sabalenka, Goff. Everybody looking at Iga Swiatek going, can she win 4 in a row? That'd be the first time in open era tennis that anybody's won 4 in a row on the women's side.
Right. She's a bit out of form at the minute too. She's been up and down.
She is out of form, yeah. And just got to say, finally, like we saw a couple of days ago, Rafa Nadal was on it. Obviously, he played last year, retired after that. 15,000 people just putting on a red shirt and chanting Rafa was quite an extraordinary sight.
He deserves it.
He does.
Unbelievable career.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we love your work. We can check out the tennis, the French Open on 9gem, and tonight at 7:30 on Channel 9 and 9 Now, the Tipping Point Travel Guide Special. Love your work, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Good on you, guys. Thanks for having me.
Have a great day.
Talk soon.
You too.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Horrendous scenes this morning when we walked in, Nat, to see the TVs and all the incident that took place in Liverpool where the Reds were celebrating their EPL victory for the 2024-25 season.
So everybody's out and about celebrating in the street.
And the reason why it was such a big deal, which normally is anyway, is because in 2019, when they also won the title, it was a COVID era, so people weren't able to get out and celebrate their team.
Sure.
So more people had decided that they'd take the day off work and get out there. The open bus had just taken place and gone through one of the main streets.
Parading through, yeah.
And everyone was still up and about, where a 53-year-old man who's now since been arrested ploughed into a bunch of spectators and people who were cheering on their side.
It's just shocking, isn't it? Like, you can't imagine the fright and the horror and the terror in those people in that scenario because you just don't understand what's happening at the time.
No.
And you can't fathom that would happen. It's really awful.
You just can't. We heard from a reporter this morning who gave us a bit of insight of what was happening at the time.
And earlier on, around an hour ago, we saw about 4 people being stretchered into the ambulances. Some of those went away. We also saw walking wounded. There were people wrapped in blankets, looking very frail, and they were being guided by paramedics. And then search and rescue teams have also turned up. So this is a big, fluid, ongoing operation. We don't know, of course, the full details of how many people might be injured. Merseyside Police, we know the Prime Minister also said, please let the police get on with their job. This is a serious, very serious incident, and they're still trying to discover what exactly happened.
They have said that they can categorically say it's not a terrorist incident.
That's good news.
They also heard from the Deputy Chief Counsel, Jenny Sims. This is what she had to say.
We are not currently looking for anyone else in relation to it. The incident is not being treated as terrorism. We would ask that people refrain from sharing distressing footage from the incident online, and please share any information directly with our investigation team.
It's really important, the sharing of information online and videos, because people always got their phone out. There's families who are around who have not been able to check in with their loved ones, and you do not want to see anything like that.
No. Yeah, you can see why they would ask people to behave that way, definitely. Yeah. And you know that some of the casualties are little children, and you just go, heartbreaking. When it's a day of celebration, and for something like that to happen, it's really gutting to the whole community. It's really hard to get your head around, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm really glad they said in the media also that the man was a white male. Yes. And the reason why I'm happy for them to say that or glad is because people go straight into racial profiling in these situations.
100%. And that's why they said it's not terrorism as well.
It's not terrorism.
It's just the like an act of madness, really, to be honest. And it's just... yeah, awful that they have to go through that. Let's hope it's all resolved. The way that the other members of the community sort of seized on the vehicle and made sure that the police were able to get that driver quickly so that he could be arrested. Yep. Amazing how quickly and expertly people reacted.
Well, they also reacted to the people who were stuck a few under the car where they were trying to help, lift and take the pressure off, which is
extraordinary.
Fight or flight. Those people reacted straight away to help.
When you see the people reacting like that, it's really it gives you hope, doesn't it, that people will react the right way in those sorts of circumstances. Well done.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
It's a Galati party. Let's go. Nathan, Nat and Sean are sorted for WA Day. Spud Shed's open 24/7. Fresh produce, meat and seafood, even on public holidays. Find your local at spudshed.com.au.
Our digital content director, Sam, just walked in wearing a Tony Galati wig, and I've got to tell you, convincing. Very convincing. I mean, it's not officially, it doesn't say Tony Galati wig on the packet, but it might as well.
Doesn't need it.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? We are throwing a Galati party along with our very good friends at Spud Shed, and we've got a bunch of people who were quick off the mark.
Martine, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Morning.
Martine, now, are you ready to embody the spirit of Tony Galati?
Well, I'm hoping it's okay. I've called for my son, Austin. His nickname at high school was Tony. So, he rocks the brows. So I'm hoping...
Okay. Well, he could be a big chance to walk away with the $5,000 then.
That's right. Got to be in it to win it. You've also scored yourself $100 to spend at Spudshed, Martine. That's nice, isn't it? All right.
That's a good win.
Well done. Now, we've got a bunch of other people in the running as well.
You're going to see Martine on Thursday, Vanessa in Cardinia, Lydia and Madeline, Natalie in Stirling, Jack in North Perth as well.
Just imagine we're at Stories Rooftop Thursday night, a whole room full of Tony Gallardi's. It's just going to make my heart sing. And one of those Tony Gallardi's will, in fact, be Tony Gallardi.
I know, but you've got to pick him out. I mean, who will know?
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
If you're watching the news last night, you would have seen it all over the shop about the adult who decided to choke one
Allegedly, Sean. Allegedly.
Well said, Nat. That's why you're here. To keep me in line.
Wait, if I'm the legal representative, we're in trouble.
You go to
So it was,
sport these days.
It was a junior soccer match in Mindarie. The visiting team was Whitford's. It's alleged that a Whitford supporter strangled an 11-year-old player.
Yeah, so it says, following an investigation by the Joondalup detectives, the man was charged with one count of impeding another person's normal breathing or blood circulation by applying pressure to the neck. Very technical, isn't it?
That's so hectic.
Very technical, yeah.
So, and like, how many times do you go to a kid's sport? I mean, we do it every weekend, and like, to get to that level.
Well, it can get that way, and for the most part, we know that going to junior sport is, for the most part, really good, and it's fun, and parents get involved, and there's a good time. But some people take way too seriously
Sean,
and
I'd
get
like
involved.
to point out, they're 11. Nobody's playing for sheep stations at 11, surely.
No, we don't know how this incident came about. What
and
was
he gets
the
his day
man's
in court,
motivation,
and
he'll be able to defend himself to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But settle the F down, would you, when you're at these events, please?
Yeah.
And there's a parent maybe that in every group that gets a bit boisterous and get full on.
Yeah, I'm
just
looking
remind
at him.
them. We are playing for sheep station. I don't coach until there's trophies on the line, and when people can understand that swearing is part of my vocabulary. But when you're 11,
yeah. Haven't you been banned from the league? Yeah, right. Okay.
I'll take you on any time. God damn you. Settle down.
Calm down. Exactly.
We do 5-year-old sport with Ollie. There's no scoring. All the parents know the score.
Oh, the kids do too, just quietly. The kids know. The kids know.
do.
Half of them can't count, but they know who won.
No score. And the mums, my wife and one of the other mums, Reka, they are the most vocal.
So, but what are they getting? So they're just cheering, really?
Usually, but Bella did surprise me, my wife. She yelled, not yelled, but let the opposition know, the stick's too high on him. He hit it too high in the
hockey
floorball. Yeah, and I was like, whoa, calm down.
Well,
just check yourself.
Yes, everybody, check yourself. Calm down. It's children's sport. It's children's sport, and the umpires are children as well, usually.
Yeah.
So, go easy on them as well. You're not going to get AFL level umpiring because you know what? They're not playing AFL.
No, that's true, Nat. That's true.
Just calm down. Take a deep breath.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Tomorrow on the show, Sunday, Ariang's going to join us. She had an absolute belter on the weekend for the West Coast Fever.
That's good news. The Gallardi party will give you another opportunity to come along to that.
You're running out of chances, by the way.
Yeah.
Thursday night, hanging in a box with Natalie for West Coast Fever for Nat's box.
I thought we talked about how you weren't going to talk about my box.
Well, that's what it's called, isn't it?
No, I've just got to look at other words for it too, Ross. Keep it clean, my friend. This is a family show.
I know.
Got to keep reminding you.
I'm not in the gutter.
You were this morning when you didn't arrive to, there's a bit of a muck up on the show, wasn't there?
Yeah, that was when I was in the bathroom.
A bit of dead air while you were doing a poo.
Okay, you don't have to repeat it.
Hey, Sam.
Hello, guys. Yes, Ross, if you need to go to the bathroom now, don't worry. I got it from here. Yeah. Make sure, hopefully no affairs. I'm ready to go for the next few hours. So
you're a rock, Sam. Thank you.
And can attest, no funny business. Nat's box at the netball I'm talking is very good fun.
Yeah,
You've had Sam's box.
Sam was my stand-in box for a while.
Yeah. No comment. That's exactly what it was. Thank you, guys.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.